Hi, this is Cindy Abbott Letro for Behind the Camera. We're about to speak to the principals involved in the movie Cutman that just wrapped 2 weeks of shooting here in Buffalo. I thought I was going to interview Bill Fichtner, but instead this man walked in off the street and, it is Bill Fichtner.
This
Bill,
wannabe Grizzly Adams.
Bill is the star of Cutman, which has been filming for a number of weeks here at Buffalo FilmWorks. Bill, this is sort of a different look.
Just a little bit, as I've already shared with you, my lovely wife, Kimmy, said, it's very interesting, Bill, just don't come home with it. So the razor's ready for Friday night after we wrap.
Well, tell me a little bit about this character, because this is a pretty sort of dark. It's serious. It's a serious film.
It is a serious film, and the first time I read it, my initial thoughts were, this is probably the most physically demanding role that I've ever done.
But you play a boxer, correct?
I do. I play a former champion boxer that's fell on hard times, and he makes money. He bare knuckle fights now, and of course they selected some extremely large boxing partners for me, but it's very exciting, and it is. Getting back to what you were asking, it is very dark, but the very first time I read it, there is this underbelly inside of the story that is so sweet about people and the desire to have friendship and be loved, and in the middle of this very intense world, there's this beauty that underlines it.
And when you speak of beauty, there's a 10-year-old that is such a sweetie that is playing opposite you, a little girl.
You mean Angel Girl? Yes. Her name is Caroline, and she's amazing. I really think she's a generational talent. I really do. She's right in the moment, and it's just been such a joy. And her mom, this actress Emily Hall, is also, and I didn't know Emily before this, and she's incredible, and that's really the heart of the story, are these three and the relationship that they have with each other. So it's been a massively creatively satisfying experience.
Well, I know that you're a swimmer, but when I heard boxing, that's sort of a different skill, a different physicality.
Yeah, absolutely. And yet I'll still get up in the morning and I'll go swim first, and then we'll get here. But you know what? As soon as I figured out a few months ago that this may come together, I immediately stopped cutting my hair and shaving, but also started working a little bit with boxing, because it is different and there's a technique. And I have had an amazing trainer here in Buffalo. At KC's gym, Kevin, and he's worked with me, and he really, I told him from the first time I met him, I don't need to be a pro boxer, but I have to look like I have the technical skills that back in the day I was.
I think we all have this feeling, being an actor, being in Hollywood, doing films, very, very glamorous. Tell me what you've been doing for 2 weeks, because this kind of dispels that.
Well, I love when I get back home to Buffalo and everybody's like, there's been no snow this winter. Well, I don't know if anybody noticed, but it snowed 7 days in a row. But
you go into, you have had this intense work experience for 2 weeks.
Absolutely. For me, I'm one of these people that I like hotel living when I'm working on something. It's one head bouncing off the wall. I leave here. I go back home, either the gym before work or after, but I go back, I look at the things that I have to do, but I pretty much spend most of my time with myself, and it's a good thing, because you do need the time to just, same thing in the morning before coming in. But once we get here, it's all good, and you're prepared and excited, and you get through the day, and you can't believe it, and then you get through the next one, and we only have 3 more left, and then we wrap.
Well, for those people that wonder why they haven't had Bill Fichtner sightings on this visit, it's because you've been working.
This is a good thing.
And they also might not have recognized you.
Well, I banged the drum the other day at the Sabres game, so it's interesting to look at. I don't have any social media, but friends have shared with me Facebook posts. And the first 5 or 6 are like, oh yeah, Buffalo guy, loves Buffalo, loves the Sabres, loves the Bills. And then comment number 8 is like, Boy, the poor guy must have hit hard times, huh? I mean,
Well, Louis from Chefs, I happened to be with you when he was trying to push $20 on you because he thought you were down on your luck.
I know. I said, Louis, just push the meatballs instead, please. So I got those.
Well, The Cutman is the name of the film. Any idea when this will be out there?
I don't, but the journey with indie films is Michael will take this, who's been amazing to work with, Michael Mailer. He will take this film and put it together. And, I know that he feels really strongly about going to festivals with this film. And I think it's an awesome idea. So this is the kind of movie that doesn't start off with distribution. So you don't know what the journey is going to be. But he'll put it together, and I believe as much as anything I've ever worked on, the bones for an amazing film is here. So he will take that. And we just said the other day, I look forward to toasting you at some great festival. And I got a feeling that's in the future.
This is the first time you've been to Buffalo?
This is the first time I've been to Buffalo, and certainly the first movie I've been producing and directing here.
And do you usually produce and direct the films that you do?
I try not to. It's just, when you wear too many hats, it can get burdensome. But this is a modestly budgeted film, so I really had no choice.
Well, how did you come to, this story? Because you're sort of known for a lot of your indies that you do, and indies are really having more than a moment now. Lots of people are doing them. Tell me why you were attracted to that.
Well, this particular script came to me, honestly, about 6 years ago. And when you read a script, you look for something that kind of grabs you, whether it's the plot or the dialogue or the voice or the characters. And this movie, when I first read it, it needed a lot of work, but the voice was unique. And I spoke to the writer and I said, listen, do you mind if I work with you to get this to a place where I think we can make it as a film? And she said, absolutely. And that process started about 5-6 years ago. So it's been a while since, I've made a bunch of movies in between, but...
Well, you graduated from Harvard and then went right into filmmaking, right?
I did, unfortunately.
Well, that's okay. You have the credential and you've got the credentials from making films. Why Buffalo?
Well, I came up a few months ago to scout for another film, and Tim Clark and Rich Wall were very kind to show us around and give us a very detailed tour of the city, starting actually with FilmWorks, where we're shooting today.
A lot of people don't even know this is here.
This is an amazing facility. I mean, it's cavernous. It's huge. I think they could probably do 3 movies at once here. It's a great studio facility. But I sort of fell in love with the city. I mean, this film I was looking at is a period film at the turn of the century, and so the architecture here is, which is so rich and historically preserved, was great. But I didn't think I'd be shooting Cutman here because I actually had another place in New York State in mind. But after speaking with Tim and Rich, and also our star,
Mr. Fichtner is a little fond of Buffalo.
The very talented Mr. Fichtner, who's a huge booster for Buffalo, they talked me into coming up here, and honestly, it was the smartest decision I made.
Well, what the next movie? Will there be a next movie in Buffalo? You mentioned that.
Well, it's called The Panic, and it's about the financial panic of 1907. And we're pretty close to closing the financing, so I could be up here again in another month.
Well, it's great. Michael Mailer, thank you for choosing Buffalo. Thank you for bringing Cutman here, and we hope it's a great success.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
I am standing with Caroline Concannon, who is one of the stars of Cutman. You've been spending some time in Buffalo, and in fact, you spent your 10th birthday here. What do you think of Buffalo?
I think it is really amazing, and the first 2 weeks we were here, it was really nice weather, but now it's a bit more chilly. And
I hope you packed for it.
yes, we did, and Buffalo has just been so kind and nice to me, and I feel so welcomed here.
Tell me about your role in Cutman.
My role, I'm playing the role of Strike, and she is a 10-year-old girl, the daughter of Josie, and she knows well beyond her years, and she just wants more for her mom, and she just wants her mom to fight for her, and then she kind of becomes a ray of light for a guy named Emmerich.
And that's played by Bill Fichtner, right?
Yeah.
How is it working so closely with him?
It is really nice. He is the kindest guy here, and I just love him so much.
Now, you are very young to have been doing this, and you've been doing it for a while. How long have you been acting?
I have been doing professional acting for about 2.5 years, but I've done plays for about 8 years.
Now, this I would think is a heavy-duty sort of dramatic role. Do you do all kinds of roles?
Yeah, I'm not that used to doing roles like this. I've usually been in smaller things, but this is a big change for how I act.
I met your dad, and does he travel with you? He gets you to where you want to go, and is it fun?
Yes, it's really fun. My mom's going to actually come up today, and we're thinking about going to a steakhouse for dinner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. So what has been, I guess, the most meaningful part of this, because we're in the FilmWorks studio, and really what happens is you come in and create a whole different world, right?
Yeah, It's really fun.
What's the best part?
The best part about it's just this amazing opportunity and meeting new people, and I just get to be myself in this role.
If you can have a big dream of what you want to be, maybe when you're turning 20, what would that be?
A role? Probably Belle in the what's it called? Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, everyone loves that role.
Yeah.
But is it fun for you? Because I would think it'd be really intense.
Doing this?
Doing what you're doing now, because you come to a strange place, you have to become somebody different.
Yeah, it's a bunch of work, but once you're used to it, it becomes really fun.
What do your friends say back in Manhasset?
I think they're really proud of me, and I make sure to keep in touch with them. I actually called them today, and I was like, I'm going to be on the news.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, we are so happy that you're here and you celebrate.
I'm so happy I'm here, too.
I've got to ask, though, your last name is Concannon, which I would assume is Irish. Did you celebrate St. Patrick's Day here?
Yes, we went to the parade, and my favorite part, did you see all those dogs there?
Yes.
I'm so happy there was dogs.
So you had a good time.
Yes, I did.
Well, as you can see, Caroline is now a Buffalo ambassador, and we welcome you here, and thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
All of us here in Western New York excited to see how Cutman actually comes out. We'll see you next time on Behind the Camera.